Prepare your notebooks, get your counter picks ready, and know your OPs. Welcome to part 2 of Clash in Short, the do's and don'ts of drafting. I divide drafting into 3 parts, with the first one being preparation. As a draft leader in your team, it's important to know all the champions that your teammates play. A good way to do this is to ask them to split their champion pool into 3 categories. The champion that they would be willing to blind pick into any comp, the champions they can play into most comps, and their counter pick champions. Take a note of these and have them ready for when the draft begins. The second part of drafting is scouting. In Clash, the scouting phase only lasts for 7 minutes, so it's important to use that time well. Inside the client, you can see your opponent's highest mastery point champions and their ranked stats for this season, but the information can still be limited. Therefore, I recommend using a third-party site like op.gg to get further information on your opponents. The first thing you should try to figure out is which of your opponents play which role, as almost every team decides their role before getting into the drafts. One of your opponents might have 200,000 mastery points on Darius, but if he's playing support, then that's a wasted ban. When that's done, try to figure out the 4 to 7 champions each opponent is most likely to play and note them down. Remember that there's only 7 minutes to do this, so try to get your team to help you scouting. The last thing you should do is try to figure out which 3 champions you want to ban first. This is most likely target bans, but could also be targeted towards any OP first picks. The third and final part of drafting is the draft itself. This is all about adapting, and it's hard to get perfectly without practice, but good preparation still helps a lot. They will ban 3 of your best champions, so after that you can either power pick or flex pick your first champions. Flex picking do require you to have shared champions between your players though, that isn't always the case. After your first 1 or 2 picks, it's time to decide what archetype you want your team comp to be, with the most common being teamfight comp, 1-4 comp, 1-3-1 comp, and poke comps. The most important isn't to fall into one of these archetypes, but to know your team's win condition. When each team has picked 3 champions, it's time for the second ban phase, which is where you ban the remaining roles. This is where you look at your notes on each opponent and try to force them onto certain picks that they play, but that are worse into your planned picks, or your team comp in general. The last 2 picks are all about completing your team comp and trying to get as favorable lanes as possible. Thank you for watching this drafting video. I could probably have done an hour-long video on this, but this one is hopefully easier to comprehend, and it should help you get ready for your Clash drafts. This has been Clash in Short.